What are you doing, Mulan? Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead in a Box. My name is Leah and I am super grateful to have you here today. Today was supposed to be like part 2 of my fall garden, but let's get real, y'all. It's like 104 degrees, 103 degrees all week. And honestly, the last thing I want to be thinking about is planting another part of my fall garden. A lot of the things I already have planted, I already planted. A few things I need to finish planting are some more cowpeas, some okra, and I'm going to do a few more green beans. I'm going to go in succession sow some more squash and zucchini. My last video, I mentioned I would show you my squash and zucchini around the flower bed, and I am going to show you that today. However, Homestead in a Box, you know. My content gets so geared towards gardening, and I love gardening, and I'm so grateful that all of you are following along and learning how to garden, and just we're all learning new things from each other, and I'm super grateful for that. But Homestead in a Box, okay? That means I have a homestead. That means I have more than just a garden. I asked on my social media page, which if you're not following there, go check us out at Facebook and Instagram, but I asked on Facebook, what does homesteading mean to you? And a lot of Maynard. And several people had said, you know, stewarding the earth, self-sufficiency, etc., etc., which is a lot of the same definition that you get all the time. The homesteading definition has changed for me over the last few years. It's consistently always evolving. I'm always saying, well, actually, this is what homesteading means to me. Actually, this is what it means to me now. I'm constantly changing, so the definition is constantly changing with me. I'm constantly, you know, moving my eyesight of where I want to move our homestead, so therefore that definition is always changing. But however, Homestead in a Box, we do run a homestead. I run a homestead. This morning you watched me milk Pocahontas. I'm going to take you and I'm going to show you our birds, our chickens and our turkeys and things like that this morning, in case this is your first video here and you're like, the gal says she homesteads but all she talks about is gardening. So actually I do have a homestead and I want to show you all that today. On the way to let out the chickens, I'm just going to give you a little tour. I'm going to show you that squash and zucchini I planted around the flagpole. It's looking great. In fact, I planted it so many weeks ago that today, tomorrow, in these 100-degree temperatures, the only thing I'm still planting right now are hot things that like the 100-degree temperature. So right now, today I'm going to come out and I'm going to succession sow some more squash and zucchini that are just like 45 to 50 day varieties. But anyway, a lot of my fall winter garden is I will not plant for another probably until next week or so, because this week we're all in the hundreds, and that looks like my spinach, my carrots, my collards, my mustards, my turnips, my beets, all of those things. They really like cooler temperatures, and the flavors for them are better when you grow things in the season. Okay, you can go grow lettuce right now, and that's wonderful, you know. The flavors, look at this, y'all. This is the kind of things I deal with. Homestead in a Box. Hi, girls. Hello, girls. Okay. So the flavors in your food when you're growing it in the right season that it's supposed to be grown in, and the nutrients that are in that food are astronomically more than what they are if you're growing them in a season that you should not be growing them in. That is not to say people who are growing things out of the opposite season are not doing it right. They are. It's just to say that when things are grown in the right season that they're supposed to be grown in, like kale and collards and mustards and all of those things taste better when they're grown in the correct season, you know. For instance, mustard greens are super spicy when you grow them when there's still heat outside. But if you start them and you get them in the ground and they're about yay grown before that first frost comes and that first frost hits them, they're phenomenal. It's the best time in the world to harvest some mustard greens and eat them, is after the frost has came. But anyway, nonetheless, this is a homestead in a box, and so today, that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm down here at the goats. Everything here on our homestead, let me just get it out in the front, is movable. So yes, even our goat pen moves. We move our goats to fresh paddocks about once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on how much of the area they have cleared out, okay? We also have a round pen that we move them to throughout the day. My husband actually just made it. It's super genius, but we'll move them to different parts of our property throughout the day. That way we're not having to move their pen all the time. Everything, like I said, everything here is easy, it's accessible and movable. Because that's what we believe in. Regen ag is something we believe in. We believe in moving animals to fresh paddocks. We believe in giving them fresh grass, and we believe in them just living out the life that they are supposed to live. We want pigs to pigs and chickens to chickens and goats to goats. So let's head over to the chickens and let them out this morning. Okay, I would say he's the only animal that doesn't add value, but he actually adds value. He likes to help round up the chickens. Maynard, say hi. Alright, so I had sunflowers here, but I had to move all of them out to make room for these beauties. Alright, so on this side we have all zucchini. And then over here we have our squash. I need to come in today and I will weed this, probably not today, but maybe this evening, and weed this. So I moved all of my squash and zucchini over here to this area to try to avoid squash bugs and vine borers. You can see my other gardens are pretty far over there, and so my flagpole's over here. So really trying to avoid squash bugs from eating everything. Alright, so we raise bourbon red turkeys. Guy got in a fight with another turkey, so he's looking a little rough and lost some feathers. These turkeys are actually all fixing to head to freezer camp. I'm going to turn a few of them into turkey sausage, and then we'll have the other two females just as turkeys to have for the rest of the year. It's just my husband and I, so we don't really need a lot of turkey. So I utilize that and make sausage out of it. But here's our turkey coop. You see our turkey coop is just made out of 2x4s chicken wire. And it's movable every day. It has a string on the front, and it's just like our broiler bird coops, although we are improvising those this year, and broiler birds will be here next week. But this is our turkey coop. So they've got their shade cloth, that's just vinyl backing. It works wonderfully. We're super grateful that we had some of that. But our beautiful bourbon reds, Guy, tell your grandma Glenda hello. She's been asking about you. Tell her hi. Alright, so here's our turkeys, bourbon reds. Highly recommend them. They grow out in a pretty decent amount. These are actually bourbon reds that we incubated ourselves. And we originally got our first set of bourbon reds from McMurray Hatchery. Alright, I'm making the executive decision to let him out because I can't remember. We got a new rooster also, and I'll show y'all him as he comes out. Let's see. Ricky Lake. There's the rooster. Some of our dear friends over at Almost a Farm gave us that pretty guy. We lost ours while I was getting tree in Chicago, and I needed fertile eggs, so we had our dear friends gave us a rooster, and I'm so grateful. I have a posse. Oh, well, we're fixing to follow them because I know where they're going. Let's go check out my rabbits. Good morning. Say good morning. How are you this morning, sister? You okay this morning? Well, no. Being Moody Judy. Hi. How are you? So if I'm being honest, basically under the rabbit cages is breakfast in the mornings. And then they're all migrating over here. Let's see. See? Okay, they're like, yes, fly larvae. Ricky Lake, are you enjoying your breakfast, sister? We have some waters leaking over here. That's why it's so wet to the right of me, but the chickens love it. Alright, so I have the water hose in the garden watering my pumpkins, but I really want to just talk about some of my animals real quick, the homesteading aspect of it. So, like you've seen, we have goats, we have turkeys, we have chickens, and we have rabbits. We've had hogs in the past, but frankly, whenever I first got into homesteading, I thought pigs were going to be my favorite thing because I raised pigs in high school. But pigs are my least favorite thing to raise. I have some friends over at Happy Hog Homestead, the Drury's, and they actually raise pigs, so we buy all of our pork from them. Again, sourcing it from this is like a hammock chair, so when I go to cross my legs, I'm a little wompy. Anyway, so we purchase all of our pork from them, and it leaves us not having to raise, grow out pigs. I'm not saying we'll never have pigs again, but it won't be anytime in the future. So let's talk about how things don't work out in your favor, okay? If you've been here for a while, you know we did commercial rabbits for about a little over a year now. We were selling our rabbits to people who were putting them into grocery stores. Again, if you're new here, my husband just came home to farm full time, and so we kind of sat down and we just looked at all the money we were pouring into it, and we decided to get out of commercial rabbits. So we are out of commercial rabbits. We no longer have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rabbits like we've had in the past. We do still have a last batch I'll take to them probably this week or next week, and then we will only have 6 rabbits. We'll have three rabbits, 2 females and 1 male. For just Tree and I to have that many rabbits, it's totally okay. They put out, their litters are pretty big. So 2 females and 1 male is totally sufficient for just my husband and I. If there's really just 2 of you, you just need 1 female and 1 male. We just kept both females because really we're just really fond of them, and we kept Pop as the male. And again, if you've been here for a while, you should have known we were not going to ever get rid of Pop. He's a lot like Guy, except in rabbit form. They'll die here of old age or of something. But anyway, a couple of the factors that were behind us getting out of commercial rabbits is like we've really been wanting to run rabbits on grass. We're huge Joel Salatin fans. That's why all of our animals here are able to move on a daily basis to fresh paddocks. And our rabbits, we weren't able to grow in rabbit tractors. We had to grow them in cages above so many feet above the ground, etc., for rules and regulations for commercial rabbits. However, now we're going to be able to run rabbits over the grass, on grass and rabbit tractors. I'm super excited. It's really all just leading up to the CSA, the Community Supported Agriculture, which is a subscription that you can buy into on our farm, and it guarantees you vegetables, eggs, rabbit, chicken, the meat that we raise here on our farm. It's a CSA. Like I said, if you've never heard of it, it's Community Supported Agriculture. It's something I'm really just like, it's been on my brain for 2 years, and I figure if I put it out there and I tell you all I'm gonna do it, you guys can watch it kind of transform into what I hope it to be. But yeah, so what I would like to do here is, since we got out of commercial rabbits, is start a subscription box, because I grow food here year round and I do raise animals here on grass. And so I want to find a few families that want to have good, nutritious food throughout the summer next year and the winter next year, and who are willing and want to buy into my farm and to take my produce home, to take my rabbits home, to take my chicken home, to take my fresh eggs home, things like that. It's for people who don't have the means or the desire to grow food in their own home, but they want to support another farmer. So that is what I am really going to be starting up here, and it's going to kind of take over the commercial rabbits. Like I said, we're getting out of the rabbits and we're just kind of moving into other streams of income on our homestead. With my husband coming home full-time, a lot of you are probably like, how are they farming full-time? How do you do it? It is very possible to do, and that's something I'm gonna go into more as we move into winter, is like how we make money on our homestead, how we do it all, you know. But anyway, this morning I really just wanted to hop on here and just show you like real life, like, hey, yeah, I still homestead. I still garden. Truth bomb, the garden's kind of neglected, right? And it's not neglected, I'm keeping it watered, but everything's in like cultivating season. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I have some okra and I'm going to succession sow some more squash and zucchini and things like that. That was a bird. But right now, everything that I have in the ground that I've recently planted, it's just growing. Like my pumpkins are doing good. My squash and zucchini are doing good. All the beans I planted in my last video, a lot of those are doing good. The jade chinas haven't sprouted out of the ground as fast as what I'd like, especially not as much as the Blue Lake green beans, the Blue Lake Bush green beans. Those have already sprouted and they're looking great. My cucumbers haven't sprouted yet either, so I might go toss another cucumber over there. But really right now in the garden, I'm kind of giving it a break because I hit the garden hard from September to December again. So the August is a little bit of my like chill zone. Like last year, towards the end of August, like it was really just me starting seeds for the winter garden, starting flowers for the winter. I'm going to be overwintering some flowers, things like that. So there's always something to do, but really this morning I just wanted to bring you all along with me and show you the animals. It's been a while since I've shown the animals on my YouTube, and my YouTube, I am Homestead in a box. I'm not just, you know, gardener in a box. I'm not just, you know, farmer's market gal in a box. I'm not any of those things. I'm Homestead in a box. I'm like all of it wrapped up in one, who happens to live in a shipping container that I call my box. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Y'all love this chair. Like I love at my husband's home. I know I've said it 100 times, but I genuinely love it. Like I get all these cool new things hung, and that way I can hang out in them, and I really just love it, and I'm super grateful for it this morning. Like this chair is phenomenal. We need to move it a little higher up the tree, but this is my favorite tree to sit under at my house. One of two. But anyway, I love it very much. Thank you all again for coming and hanging out with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful day. As always, I'm sending you good vibes. Send some good vibes to somebody that you know. And we are going to get in the garden. I plan on getting in the garden like over the next 2 days in the mornings. And I do plan on turning on my camera. However, with the temps at like 104 during the day, y'all, it ain't happening. And by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, I'm exhausted from the 100 and something degree temps. So here we are at 8 o'clock in the morning recording YouTube. Over the next few mornings, I am going to be planting more things in my garden and cultivating more rows, planting okra, things like that. And I promise to bring you all along. Thank you so much. Again, send some good vibes to somebody that you know. And I'll see y'all the next time around.